Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to share with you some thoughts about what happens in the Orthodox countries, the so-called Orthodox countries, after the fall of the communism, atheism, which happened about 35 years ago. And after that, in those Soviet countries, we have a big revival of the church. Some people were amazed to see something that was destroyed. Like if you would go to those countries, like in the 70s or early 80s, you would find nothing Orthodox. There would be some church, but it would be more like a museum maybe. And most of the churches would be like storages or some laboratories or museum, but there would be no service. It would be completely secularized, and nobody would care about faith. Okay, most people you would meet on the street, they would be atheists, or they would conceal the fact that they believe in God, and they would never go to church. So those days, I still remember those days, and it would seem to you that this is done. Okay, there is nothing, there is no hope of seeing orthodoxy. So now when we speak about Orthodox countries, we need to remember that all of them went through this period of atheism. And what we see now is a different picture. It's completely different from what it was like 40 years ago. So, however, there are big problems. It's difficult to talk about these things without talking about society overall. Like the world is changing, okay, everywhere. Okay, last 35 years, society, social values, globalization, okay, politics, economics, everything is changing. So when we talk about the fruits of this revival, it's very hard to not to consider all those factors. Okay, but today I want to avoid those, because otherwise you can talk forever. Okay, today I want to just focus on some main developments and main problems or shortcomings of what we have in the church, not like the whole society. Okay, I'm not talking about like everyone. I'm talking about church-wise. What do we have now after 35 years of this freedom, relative freedom, and this revival that we have? Well, first I'll share with you about the fruits, about the good things. Okay, with some shortcomings, and then later I'll talk about big issues that we have. Well, the overall attitude towards Christianity and Orthodox faith is much better. Most people now, if you meet in Russia, they would call themselves Orthodox. Even if they don't go to church and they don't know much about Orthodoxy, they would still call themselves Orthodox, which gives you a great opportunity to talk about faith. Okay, it was different in the past. In the past, if you talk about faith, people would keep away from you. Okay, they would think you're a fanatic or something. Okay, it's unhealthy. Okay, everybody is building socialist future, and you're talking about some retrograde, some 19th century stuff. So it was very different attitude. Well, as I said, most people are not really into faith, which is a shortcoming, of course. Which means that we need to do more education, we need to do more preaching, more testimony within the church, because people who are baptized, we already consider them part of the church in some sense. Okay. Another of course, many people, they became Orthodox. They became really Orthodox. They go to church. There are much more churches than there used to be. Like I don't know, 40,000 churches, something like that, in that vicinity, in Russia alone. Okay, not talking about Ukraine and Belarus and other countries. So and all of them are full on Sundays, and so which means that more people, they became believers, practicing Orthodox, and even people who don't go to church now would know more about faith than it used to be 40 years ago. So so there is a big development in that sense. Okay. Yes, if you go to another country, non-Orthodox, you would not find that. Like here in Taiwan, we don't have it. And even if you go to Europe or United States, it's very different. So it's really a great pleasure to see many people who are truly Orthodox and who are living in the faith, and there are many of them, okay, who have faith which is alive, not just formal. Okay, so this is real, and this is not some superficial, some fake thing. Another big development is that we have now great variety of books and videos and articles about faith, about spiritual life. And if you are Orthodox, you have much more resources in every respect that will help you on your path. So this is really helpful for Orthodox people, for the clergy, for the monks. All of that is a great help. A lot of books are being translated into Russian. So this is also a very visible, very evident development. Okay. Another, well, again, this comes with its shortcomings, because sometimes it's done just for for volume. Okay, we need to publish so many books because this is the goal. Okay, and there is not much. Maybe emphasis on what is written in those books, okay, but still, all those bureaucratic, all those things, they it's hard to avoid. Okay, they come, but in any case, this gives much more opportunities for the faithful to self-develop, to learn, to advance in their spiritual life. All of this is good. And also another good development is that we have a lot of monasteries which have been recovered. Now there is about 1,000 monasteries, and they allow people to learn much more about faith, seeing how it's done. Okay, participating in the prayers, in the life of the monastery. And this is great development. Now there is a big goal with all those monasteries which have been recovered, built so many facilities that have been built for the pilgrims, for everything. Okay, related to church, to prayer. Now it's time to put more emphasis into spiritual life itself, which was not as emphasized during this time of construction and this development. So now we have the infrastructure for spiritual life, but there is still a lack of this spiritual life. Not everywhere, okay, but in some monasteries, we have this problem. So this is what we have. Together with these nice developments that we have over the past 35 years, we also have some problems. We need to recognize, without criticism, we cannot develop, we cannot grow. So we should be very, very brave and not being afraid of self-criticism. One of the biggest problems is the reliance on sponsors and government. This comes with limited freedom, okay? Because if you receive funding from government, from big companies, government companies, state companies, or some other institutions, you are limited in what you can say to criticize them, okay? To criticize what's happening in the country, okay? Policies or other things, inequality or lack of righteousness or problems with the judicial system. Because you receive all this funding, you're relying a lot on this. Those fundings, they allow the church to do more mission. So, but where is this? There are trade-offs. Okay, so the church can go to hospitals, on TV, on radio, to schools, to army, to prisons, to do preaching, okay, to preach the gospel. However, if we have all that funding, we cannot really criticize what's happening. And there is too much ideological influence upon the church. It should be another way around. The church should bring the agenda. What is right, what is wrong, what's the direction that the society should be going to become evangelized, to become healthy. But now very often we follow the agenda of some other forces which are there. Okay, this is a great big shortcoming, and I was talking about this in my past videos. Okay, so there is this problem when we say that we have all this revival and everything is good, but all of a sudden people go and they kill each other, or people go and they do drugs, smoke, they abortion, and all the other things. Okay. Okay. If things are getting bad, we cannot say everything is good. Okay. So there is this problem that we have. Another big problem is basically that which is related, that many people in the church approve wrong policy, and I need to be careful in what I say here, but if there is a lie, ideological lie, we need to see that it's a lie. But many church leaders and regular faithful, they don't see that. This is telling us that there are spiritual problems which happen. Okay, which we have. If we cannot see that something is a lie, we support this meat grinder that we have now. Okay, I won't say more because otherwise I may get strike on this video. Okay, of course not everyone supports that thing, but quite many, okay, which is a big problem. And another big problem that we have is weakness. I would say even lacking external mission. Okay. Well, there is a big task for the church to do internal mission within the countries which used to be Orthodox at some point. Okay, and there are things which are done. Okay, I mentioned books and many other TV programs, everything else. Quite a lot of things are done. Not enough. It's not enough, but still there are things which are done. But regarding the external mission, we are lacking. Okay. Just recently, we began having English liturgy in Moscow. There are, I think, 2 places now where you can go and have an English liturgy, which is really not enough. I was trying to find some literature, Orthodox books in English. So few. You can find some, but it's almost nothing. You will have to order online to get some stuff, which is strange, because you have tons of books in Russian, but you don't have much in English. Okay, which means that there is a lack of emphasis on this in this mission-wise. There are more books in Chinese on Orthodoxy that you can get in Moscow than in English. Okay, which is quite bad. And generally speaking, we are lacking in terms of the platform of communication with the society, even within Russia. Okay, with the academia, with the business people, with the elite. Okay, with the intelligentsia. Okay, with the people, with the learned people. With the young people, okay, to have this dialogue with the bigger society. The church is still minority, like quite small. The people who are like really faithful, there are minority in Russia, in Ukraine, in Belarus, and there is a need of this platform of communication. And now it's lacking. Okay, we need to do more. So these are the main things which I wanted to mention. And every time I go to those countries, I always have a question here. With all this development that we have, with all this revival that we have, do we have more Christ? Do we have more Christ, both within the church and in the society in general? Okay, do we feel more influence of Christian values, of Christian testimony in the society in general and within the church on the parish level? I won't give you an answer, okay? I still need to think about it myself. And I'm not a prophet or a saint to say that, okay, I know where is Christ and where is more Christ, where is less Christ. Okay, but I have some thoughts on that, and I also hope that you can think about it. Okay? Of course, the first task is to be ourselves, okay, with Christ. Okay, this is the main goal. Without this, we won't have any spiritual understanding of things like that. May we have the humbleness, may we have the wisdom coming from the Lord. May we have the courage to criticize ourselves and to develop, to bring Christ to our families, to the people around us, and to have His blessing and His kingdom come to the hearts of more people, more and more people. Amen. May the Lord's grace and blessing be with every one of you. Amen.